Hello, everyone. Welcome, welcome. We're so excited to be welcoming you all today to talk a little bit more about our Master of Management Studies in Global Business and Society, or our GBS degree here at Yale School of Management, or Yale SOM. As we're waiting for our participants to continue joining us, we'll just maybe give some brief introductions of ourselves who will be hosting the session today and share a little bit of an overview of what we're planning to do today. So, my name is Evelyn Wilson. I'm the Senior Associate Director of Management Master's Programs here at Yale School of Management. And I'm very happy to be joined by my colleague Matt today. You want to say hi, Matt?
Hi everyone, my name is Matthew Lassance. I'm the Assistant Director of Admissions. Excited to be here and talk a little bit more about the Global Business and Society or GBS program.
Great. The GBS program is a 1 year or 9 month in residence program here at Yale SOM. So we currently do not have any hybrid or online version of this degree. It's a full-time in residence program here at Yale. So participants will have to be here in New Haven for the duration of this program. And it's designed to be a complement to a Master in Management or a MIM degree. And so we're going to talk about that in a little bit more detail shortly. But now we can give a little bit of an overview of the GBS program and what it is. So, as I mentioned, it's a 1 year degree program and it's very customizable. So, again, in a few slides, we're going to do a little bit deeper dive into the curriculum. But for now, we'll just say that it's very customizable and you are really able to determine your learning here at Yale. So, you'll be able to choose what areas or topics you'd like to focus on and explore during your time in the GBS program. You'll also be joining a community of purpose. Yale is a mission-driven institution. Our mission is educating leaders for business and society. And this is really important to what we do here at Yale. And we really try and have this mission be present in the environment and every element of your life here at Yale SOM. So you'll definitely be joining a community that brings purpose to the work that we do. You will also be joining the Yale University Network and Environment. And so all of the privileges and opportunities available to Yale students will, of course, be available to you. So all of the clubs that we have here at Yale SOM, as well as across Yale University, will be open to you. I believe we have over 60 clubs available here at SOM. And then, of course, no end of other clubs and organizations across Yale as well. Of course, we always are hosting lots of exciting events here at SOM and attracting world-class speakers. So again, we'll go into these a little bit more um, in a few slides, but there's lots of opportunities to get involved inside the classroom and out as part of the Yale community. And then, of course, you'll be graduating from Yale University as an alumni, and you'll be joining the Yale University Network, which is very active. We have members of the Yale Network all across the world, and it's just a really wonderful community and network to be part of. So, why pursue the GBS program? It's an opportunity to build off of your MIM program and really take your learnings to the next level, to a global level. There's really two opportunities here. The opportunity to go into extraordinary depth in one specific field or interest area that you might have, and really take a deep dive into this field with some of the leading industry experts here at Yale. So, a few examples that we've listed here are healthcare management, organizational behavior, entrepreneurship, fintech, nonprofit, or economics. But these are just a sample. There's really no limit on the topics or areas that you could really take a deep dive into here at SOM. On the other hand, you have the opportunity to expand your horizons and really explore new interest areas in a wide variety of classes or topics here at Yale. So perhaps you've always wanted to take a class but never had the flexibility in your academic program to do so. This is your opportunity. So In addition to all of the classes and electives here on offer at the School of Management, you will also have the opportunity to take classes across Yale University. So you could take classes at any of our graduate schools or the Graduate School of Arts and Sciences as a GBS student. This gives you the opportunity to explore any interest area that you might have. For example, you could take classes in art, in drama, environmental science, global affairs, music, history. You could learn a new language. The opportunities are really endless because we have so much opportunity here for you to customize your curriculum and select the classes or topics that you'd really like to explore here. You could also do both. You could take a deep dive into a specific area, but also spend, a few classes or a few electives exploring some topics that you've always wanted to learn about, but never had the opportunity to. So it really gives you a unique opportunity to customize your curriculum in a way that best suits you. Like I mentioned earlier, the GBS degree is designed to complement a Master in Management or a MIM degree. So, pictured here in the circle on the left are lots of different schools that offer incredible MIM or Master in Management programs from across the world. All of these schools we have partnerships with. Many of them are concurrent degree partnerships. So, that means that you can take your MIM program and spend your first year at the any of these other schools that we have a partnership with, and then your second year here at Yale. Um, Through the concurrent degree partnership, you will actually be able to transfer back credits that you earn here at Yale to your MIM degree. So your year one school will recognize and grant you credit towards your MIM program through the GBS. So this partnership allows you to complete both degrees in a shorter amount of time than it would take to complete both of those degrees separately. So it's a really great opportunity with many of our partner schools to participate in our concurrent degree program. And again, earn two degrees in less amount of time than it would take to earn both of them separately. Alternatively, many schools have a one-year degree MIM program, which is also great. You can take your MIM, graduate from it, and then add Yale as your second degree on top of your MIM program. Both of these options really allow you to leverage the power of two. So here you are earning two degrees across two different brands in two different countries, building upon two different networks, all within 2 years. So it's a really wonderful opportunity to really expand your knowledge and your network and build your own brand globally within just 2 years. I mentioned our mission earlier, which is educating leaders for business and society, and how central this really is to everything that we do here at Yale. We're really aiming to educate leaders to think carefully about the big issues that business leaders are facing today and to consider multiple perspectives when finding solutions to those. We're really looking to bring together students who have a deep sense of purpose in their work. And this means that we're creating an environment here where everybody is doing really amazing and incredible things across all disciplines. So, again, you're joining this community of purpose. You're joining this community who are really dedicated to advancing both business and society. And this is something that we're looking for in our applications because we're really looking to bring together students who resonate with this mission and who really want to focus on, again, building business and building society together at the same time. So here at Yale SOM, we have a portfolio of different degree programs, which I'd like to share with you today, just to give you an idea of who else is going to be here on campus with you and who's going to be sitting in class with you, because our electives are open to students from across all different degree programs. So first, we have our MBA program, which is our largest program here at Yale SOM. We recruit about 350 MBA students each year, and it's a 2-year program, which means in any given year, there's about 700 MBA students here on campus. We also have an MBA for Executives program. This is a part-time program where our students continue working in their job as they're studying this EMBA or Executive MBA program. Again, it's a 2-year program, but it's a smaller cohort, tends to be about 75 students per cohort. And again, it's a 2-year degree program. We also have a Master of Advanced Management program. This program is actually designed to be a counterpart to an MBA. So generally, students have taken their MBA at a partner school, and then they'll come for a 1-year Master of Advanced Management to SOM, and really build upon their network in the same way as the GBS students can. We have a small portfolio of Master in Management Studies programs. The GBS is there in the middle, and that's the one we're talking about today. We also have a MMS, Master in Management Studies program in Asset Management, in Systemic Risk, in Technology Management, and also in Public Education Management. And then we also have PhD students as well. Again, all of these students are going to be in classes with you in your electives, and they're open to join clubs through SOM and social events. So you really have an opportunity to mix with students from across these degree programs and also across different uh, amounts of work experience and through a spectrum of work experience across all of these programs as well. Now I'm going to hand over to Matt to share a little bit more specifics about the GBS curriculum.
Thanks, Evelyn. So let's talk a little bit about it. With the GBS curriculum, you have a lot of flexibility to really design a program that suits your needs, as Evelyn was kind of talking about. So there's one required course, as you can see in sort of the light blue there, Business and Government After Communism. With that, I'm going to say maybe a royal blue, you'll see 16 units of advanced management courses. And you've got a number of different courses that you can select from that can kind of fill out that area of your curriculum. Once you've chosen those, you have 18 units of elective courses. And those courses can be made up of courses from SOM or from Yale's other 12 professional schools in the Graduate School of Arts and Sciences. The really, really neat piece to this puzzle is just the amount of flexibility that you have with those electives. So we have over 170 different elective options just at Yale SOM alone. When you multiply that by 13 other schools, you're well over 1,000 courses that you have the opportunity to select from that can really help prepare you for that next step in your professional journey. So it's a really great opportunity to design a curriculum that fits your needs, your wants, and your future ambitions. One of the opportunities that we also want to highlight is the management science major or STEM major. So with this, you still have your main course, your main required course of business and government after communism. You still have your 16 units of advanced management courses. But where it differs is you have 16 units of management science or STEM based courses. And we have 26 elective options this year. You can see a couple of the pretty popular ones there on the right. But those would kind of fill out a number of your elective courses. You still have at least 2 units of elective courses across all of Yale that you can choose from. Um, One thing to note there, that is the minimum number. So you can always go above that if you would like. Keep in mind, work-life balance is very important, especially at Yale. But this is a great opportunity for those of our students that are really interested in a STEM career or something, in that STEM field after their time here at Yale. One thing that I do want to note with this too, you don't need to be a management science major student in order to take these courses. You can take these courses as a non-STEM major student. So it's something to really think about and consider. One of the reasons that students do also consider this, normally you get 1 year of OPT or optional practical training upon graduation. With this, you could potentially qualify for an additional 2 year STEM extension, giving you potentially 3 years of work permission in the US after graduation. This is not guaranteed. It is something that there is potential for. You need to apply and go through the process, but it's something that our students do consider when considering the management science major. So what does your schedule look like? And I think this is a big question that a lot of people want to know. So our class schedule is Monday through Thursday. You're going to see courses in blue there, and normally your courses will be about an hour, hour and a half, twice a week, or they may be closer to 3 hours if they're meeting once a week. You're going to have those courses, as I mentioned, Monday through Friday. I believe they start around 8 a.m. and go throughout the day. You may also have meetings throughout the day. Those could be group meetings for classes. You might be meeting with a professor, or maybe even joined a club and you're going to have a club meeting on one of your days. Now, where it gets interesting or I think fun is in orange, you're going to see careers and sort of your career development. On Friday, that is kind of the designated career development day for students as you don't have classes typically. Sometimes outside of SOM, there might be a class, but within SOM. So as you can see, maybe you go to a workshop on Friday. Maybe you're interviewing with someone or you're doing mock interviews even with one of our team members in our career development office. Or maybe you have a one-on-one meeting with the career development officer. That day, Friday is usually the day that it's designated for that. You may be able to pop in and have a one-on-one meeting any day of the week. You can talk to them any day of the week, but Friday is sort of designated as that career day. And then, of course, I think one thing that we really want to highlight is having that personal time. I know I briefly mentioned work-life balance. I think a lot of times students get here and there's so much going on in the classroom that sometimes they don't take a moment to just take in Yale and think about where they are, think about the history, go explore a little bit. So definitely make sure you're doing that. As you can see, make sure you get a good lunch. We've got a fantastic cafe downstairs as well as dining option with Charlie's Place. Maybe you go and do some yoga in the morning just to get your mind right and get yourself feeling good for classes that day. But I would also be remiss if I didn't mention, get together with some of your classmates, have dinner, get to know them a little bit more, or maybe go to a play at the theater, go to some of the museums, art galleries, go experience all of Yale. Really make sure that you're setting aside some time to, you know, enjoy the experience of Yale, enjoy the experience of New Haven, and get to know some new people. Now, with that, I do want to highlight, our course selection. I think, as I mentioned, trying to kind of highlight or explain, just the diversity of courses and the opportunity there, it's a little bit tough sometimes. So, I tried my best to kind of showcase this with this course selection slide. You can see just the different ways that people took advantage of it. So, Andrea took a little bit more of a broad selection of courses. So, you're going to see some of the advanced management courses, one of the core courses, Business Government After Communism, of course, across the top. But then you see some of the SOM electives that she chose, as well as some courses that were outside of Yale SOM with Showgirls, Chinese Cinema and Society. She even took a French course. So she took courses outside of Yale, really, took those courses that were going to help round out her skill set, hit some areas that are personal interests of hers that I think is really, really cool. With David, a little bit deeper in specific areas such as strategy and kind of team leadership or management of people, I would say. You still see the core courses. You see how, he took completely different advanced management courses, although I think all three took negotiations. But you see a couple different, advanced management courses. You see definitely different SOM elective options. And he still took a class in psychology, but it kind of fit into that leadership, managing people, maybe figuring out how to best to, work with different people. But one of the other highlights, the Global Network Week experience at Fudan, really, really cool experience. And then just to highlight a student who took the STEM opportunity there, and I think a really great example of it. You see, the core course, you see the advanced management, the SOM electives, but then I think it's really neat. Aside from the STEM courses, they took a couple classes outside of Yale SOM. You see, a French class, a class in humanities, life worth living, and then you see even a law class in there. And then they had time to go to a global network week down in Brazil. Really, really awesome to see three completely different schedules. They all took advantage of different things and found opportunities that really suited their needs, their wants. And again, I think they might have taken a little bit more than the 40 credits, but they had good work-life balance, and it seems like they really got the opportunity to take classes across Yale that they felt were going to help complete their, educational journey. So as we're talking about this, I just want to give a little bit of an idea of what the academic calendar looks like for a year at Yale. So this year, our students joined us on August 11th. They go through a 2-week mandatory orientation, and then classes started on August 27th. Somehow it has flown by, and we're already at the first break of the semester with Global Network Week coming and a little bit of time off. But then, we've got November recess, and then winter recess is just a few short months away. There's about a month break there. A lot of our students will go home, go catch up with family, maybe take a vacation, and then rejoin us here in early January. You're going to see spring break there, or spring recess, I should say, as well as our March Global Network Week, which is a really, really fun one again. And then commencement sneaks up on you kind of fast. It is about a 9-month program. It goes by a lot quicker than our students think, but I think they really do a good job of finding ways to make the most of those 9 months. So our class this year is actually made up of 77 MIM graduates or Master Management degree graduates. They come from 8 different schools around the globe, and their average work experience is about 14 months. And I do want to highlight that, some students have less than that, some students have more than that. That's an average. So don't take that as you need to have 14 months. Take that as, they've got some experience under their belt. Average age is about 24, and we have some a little younger, some a little older. 48% women, which is great to see. And then I think this is a really, really cool piece to this program. It's just how global it is and how well traveled they are. 97% are international passport holders. The amount of travel I've heard from these students and the amount of international experiences they've had, whether it be through work, through schooling, and just general travel, is unbelievable. And I think it's really cool that they come from 20 different countries. Really, basically every one in every 4 students comes from a different place around the world, which I think just adds so much to this cohort and makes it a really, really special group of students this year. As we're talking about kind of the community, I think Evelyn highlighted it a little bit, but we've got a lot of things going on throughout the year. Speaker series. We have everyone from, we've had the president of Ghana to Fortune 500 CEOs, like CEOs from Pepsi, from Helen of Troy, to, speakers who are world renowned, like fashion designer Stella McCartney, who came and spoke with a number of our students. Yale really prides itself on being at the forefront of discussions. We want our students to hear from those that are kind of leading the charge in a variety of different areas. They are leaders in different, sectors, and they can really talk about what's going on in the world. And I think really helps our students kind of understand, what does the world look like around us. With that, a lot of fun events going on as well. Yale Harvard football game, a classic American tradition, I would say. Really fun to see all the students come out, support Yale, just have a blast. Everyone usually gets there, oh God, I think like 6 or 7 a.m. usually, and starts, getting ready for the game. We also have a little bit more professional events like Fempire. Really cool event for our women in management, women in business groups, and really a lot of great female leaders that come and support the females on campus that are looking to take the reins and be the next leaders in business and society. A lot of different conferences. I think every week it seems like there's a different conference going on. I know we just finished up with our environmental and sustainability weeks. I know we've got the philanthropy conference, AI and technology conferences going on, entrepreneurship ones. There are so many different conferences. There is absolutely a conference for you here at Yale. So definitely take a look into some of those and see what excites you. It's really cool to see not just what students are doing and how they're getting involved with them, but also to see some of the alumni and some of the other people out in the world that come to join us for those conferences, talk with our students, and just see it all come together. And then I think two really, really cool things. SOM Talent Show. I love talking about it just because We have some amazing professors as well as, other faculty and staff that are always on campus. But to get to see them outside of the classroom, I think is really something fun. I think the talents that they have outside the classroom are, almost as cool and almost as impressive as I think their talent in the classroom. It's really, really cool to see, as well as the talents that many of our students have. So SOM Talent Show, definitely one I would highlight, as well as Friendsgiving, another great opportunity to get to know some of the faculty, staff, and other students on a more personal level. And then, of course, the SOM Club Fair. We've got more than 50 or 60 different clubs going on at Yale. My recommendation, look into them a little bit. Find one professional one and one personal one that you can join that are really going to allow you to not only develop, skills, knowledge, connections in sort of the professional setting, but also maybe make some new friends and get involved with something in maybe the dance or music or sports world a little bit more. Again, some of the most amazing things at Yale, I try to make sure students don't miss. If you have the opportunity to stop by and visit us, I would definitely not miss the Beinecke Rare Book and Manuscript Library. Again, we have so many art galleries, so many museums on campus, so many historic things, and it's something that I think our students really, you try to remind them, take a minute, remember where you are, look around, and just, think about the history and all the cool stuff that's happened at this university over the years. The Yale Farm, another amazing place on campus to check out and just kind of learn a little bit more about farming and agriculture, all of that. And then Sterling Memorial Library, which is absolutely beautiful. It's actually the library in the backyard or background of the courtyard photo there. Beautiful library, some beautiful spots on campus, just to highlight a little bit of kind of what the Yale experience could look like for you. And then I know it's always a big question, careers. So our career development office really tries to work with students, based on their experience, based on all of that. They don't treat any students differently. You're all Yale SOM students. The only difference is some of you may be on the younger side, some of our students may be on the older side. So you may be recruiting for different types of roles. In that instance, they're going to work with you in both group and individual settings. And some of the ways they do that, they have workshops. So those workshops could be on writing an effective resume or cover letter. They might do mock interviews. They may work with you on crafting and kind of telling your story and your experience, how you've gotten to this point. They have a variety of different things that they're going to work with you on to really set you up for success, not just as you apply, but as you go through the interview process and take those first steps. They also have on-campus recruiting opportunities, employment databases, and they really do have amazing designated career support to help each student. They have, as I mentioned, group sessions, but they'll also work with you one-on-one, have those opportunities to really get to know you and really help tailor, your kind of recruiting journey to your experience. And of course, where do our students end up? And I think it's really cool to see they really have global careers. I'm sure many of you recognize the names on there: BCG, Google, Amazon, McKinsey. They really end up at some amazing businesses and companies around the globe. And we have students in North America, South America, Asia, Europe, Africa. Um, it's really cool to see not just that though, but also we do have a number every year that get into entrepreneurship and really want to start their own pathway, which I think is really cool, really unique, and something that we definitely encourage at Yale. And of course, some of the top industries, I'm sure not too surprising, technology, government consulting, and finance. But manufacturing has been an interesting one. I know a lot of people have been interested in sort of the automotive or transportation industry in the past year or two. So it's really kind of cool to see that also join that list of some of the top industries our students end up in. And I believe I'm going to pass it back over to Evelyn now to talk a little bit more about the pathways and application.
Yeah, thank you so much, Matt. So we have a couple of different pathway options here to get to the GBS program, and the one that's right for you really depends on where you are in your academic journey. So a couple of different pathways to talk through here. The first bucket is if you're still thinking about applying to an MIM program or a Master in Management program, and if you are, that's great. We have the opportunity for you to actually apply to the GBS and um, the MIM program at the same time. So we have a couple of different partnership schools here. ESA, HKUST, HSA, and UBC Sauder are all schools that we have partnerships with, which you can apply to your MIM and the GBS all at the same time in the same admission year. The way that this would work is that you would apply to our partner school first. Um, Indicate your interest in the GBS program, and then the partner school would get in touch with us and let us know. We would pursue the application process independently. So the partner school would go through their application process. We here at Yale would go through our application process, but we're going to be talking and in communication with each other the entire time. You will then hear your admissions decision from both the MIM program and the GBS program at the same time in the same admissions year. And so this really allows you to know your path of both years right up front before you begin your MIM program. So you can plan out your academic journey right away. We also have an opportunity for students who are currently enrolled in a MIM program or who are a graduate of a MIM program to apply for the GBS as well. You would do this by applying to the GBS program directly. So remember those concurrent degree program schools that I mentioned earlier. If you are currently enrolled in a MIM program at any of those partner schools, you can apply to the GBS and then again transfer some credits back from your GBS program to your MIM school and to your MIM program in order to graduate from both schools and both programs in a shorter amount of time than it would take for you to complete both programs independently. If you've already graduated from a MIM program, great, that's fine too. You can, again, apply directly to the GBS program and all of these different buckets or different pathways will lead you to the same program, will lead you to the GBS program. It doesn't matter to us which pathway you come through. There's no preference for either one or the other. Um, we're just looking for the best and the brightest students coming from across the world. So again, which of these pathways is right for you really depends on where you are in your academic journey, but they all lead to the same place and they're all just as good as each other. So, to dive into the GBS application itself a little bit more, it's an online application. You can find it on our website. And here are all the requirements that we need as part of your application. So, the first one is transcripts. We would like to see your undergrad transcripts as well as any transcripts from degree granting institutions. So, if you went on exchange or study abroad, if you transferred in your undergrad, we'd like to see grades from both academic institutions. And then, of course, if you have already started or graduated from a MIM program, we would like to see your MIM grades as well. We'd also like to see your resume. Keep it short, please, no longer than 1 to 2 pages. Yeah, just of course letting us know what you've been up to, your work experience, any extracurricular activities that you might have been involved in. But I'm not sure if we've mentioned this already. We do have a 3 year or less work requirement. So, in order to be eligible for the GBS program, you need to have no more than 3 years of work experience. We also require a GMAT or a GRE test score. We sometimes get asked if this can be waived. Unfortunately, the answer is no. This is a requirement for our program. We only take the GMAT or the GRE, so make sure that you have one of those test scores as you prepare your application. We also require a letter of recommendation from a professional source. So this needs to be written from a current or former supervisor or somebody who can really speak to what it was like working with you in a professional environment. This letter needs to come directly from your recommender and from their professional email address. So we don't accept Gmail, Hotmail, QQ, any of those personal email addresses we would not be able to accept. So please have your recommender submit it directly from their professional email address. Then a letter of support from the dean or director of your MIM program. So Of course, if you have not yet begun a master in management, this would be waived for you. But for those of you who are currently enrolled or who have graduated already, we would like to see a letter from your dean or director of your master in management, just kind of letting us know you were a good citizen of the school, your involvement in the program. And again, that would need to be submitted directly from them. We have three essays that are about 250 to 300 words long, so not particularly long, but three essay prompts there. And then one shorter one this year that I think is only about 50 words. It's meant to be fun, to get an idea for the admissions committee to get to know you a little bit better. So a couple of essays to work on there, but none of which are particularly long. Then, once you submit your application, about 24 to 48 hours later, you will receive a link to record some video questions. And these are an additional part of our application. The video questions are meant to be fun. Again, um, they don't require any preparation. There's no right or wrong answers. Sometimes candidates get a little nervous about them, but I'm here to set your mind at ease. These are a really great way for us, the admissions committee, to get to know you better, to see you kind of come alive off of the page, and to give us an opportunity to, again, get to know you better and get to know kind of the way that you approach um, problems or finding solutions, and just learning a little bit more about how you think. So that's a little bit about the video questions. Then there's a 95 US dollar application fee. And then if you make it to the next stage of the application process, you will be invited to interview. Interviews happen over Zoom, so there's never any need to travel to New Haven or anywhere to participate in the interview um, itself. The application is now open. So we have four application rounds this year. The first one is coming up in December, December 1st. Round one is reserved for our Global Network students. So students or alumni from Global Network for Advanced Management schools are invited to apply in round one. Rounds two, three, and four in January, February, and March are open to candidates who are taking a MIM program at any business school across the world. So GNAM school students can apply in round one, but also in rounds two, three, and four. And then rounds two, three, and four are also open to students from MIM programs across the world and not just our Global Network for Advanced Management partner schools. Sometimes students ask which round they should apply in. We always say that it's best to apply in the round in which your application is going to be the strongest. So, some good reasons to perhaps wait until a later round would be if you're planning to retake a test, if you want to kind of have some additional grades from a MIM program that you're currently in, you might want to wait until round two when your first semester grades are in. If you wanted to take a little bit extra time and work on your essays and, not feel rushed through the application. Those are all good reasons to wait until a later round. All things being equal, I would always advise applying earlier rather than later, just because it'll give you more time to kind of plan, prepare your visa, get everything ready, to make your move to New Haven in early to mid-August to start our program in the middle of August. So those are just a few pieces of advice in terms of considering which round to apply in. Affording your GBS. So we know that this program is a significant investment. It's an investment in you and it's an investment in your future. We do have merit scholarships available, and your merit scholarships will be considered right with your application materials. Every admitted student is automatically assessed for a merit scholarship without the need to submit any additional documentation. You will be assessed for your scholarship in the year in which you are planning to enroll. So if you apply through the program track with your applying for your MIM and the GBS at the same time, we would not assess your merit until the following year after you've completed your MIM or you've enrolled in your MIM, just to assess you with the pool of candidates that you will be participating in the program with. So, for candidates who have already begun or who have graduated from a MIM program, you will get your merit scholarships with your admission letter. So you'll know right away how much merit scholarship you have been awarded. We generally award merit scholarships with a range between 10 to 45,000. We do not offer full ride scholarships here at Yale SOM. So you will need to plan to fund some of the program yourself. We do work with international student loan providers, so many of our students will utilize that opportunity to fill any funding gap that may be remaining after your scholarships have been awarded. We also have some on-campus student employment opportunities just to kind of manage expectations. These are not going to be paying for your tuition, but they might, help to pay for your rent or provide pocket money throughout the year, or just, be able to contribute to your financial plan overall during the program. But there is also a limit on the number of hours that students can work just based on your visa as well. So these are all things to take into consideration as you're planning how you're going to fund the program. So those are all the slides that we had today. I do want to mention a couple of things here, a couple of QR codes to share with you. So the one on the left will take you to our website, where of course we have lots more information about the program. So please feel free to peruse there. Check out our admissions ambassador page, where you can connect with current students and ask them any questions that you might have. And I'm also going to ask my colleague Elena to post in the chat our brochure from this year, which you can feel free to download and get more information from the brochure as well. We also have an upcoming event this Thursday. It's a Q&A session, which these are really great opportunities to connect individually with members of our admissions team. So we're holding these Q&A events every month, and each taking turns hosting them so you can connect individually with a member of the admissions committee. They're small group sessions, so we encourage participants to turn on their camera and just candidly ask any questions that you might have about the program, about the admissions process, anything you might like to ask. We'd be happy to try and answer for you live. So the next session is coming up later this week on Thursday, October 9th, and it's at 11 o'clock Eastern Time, which is the same time as this webinar today. So hopefully some of you will be able to sign up and join us for that event. We've also put down here at the bottom of the screen our email address, which is gbs@yale.edu. Feel free to reach out to us at any time to ask any questions you might have there as well. But we are going to spend a little bit of time now trying to answer your questions live that we might not have answered already in the webinar today. So if you have questions, please feel free to use the Q&A feature, and Matt and I will do our best to answer them for you here today. Let's see what we've already got a couple submitted, so let's see what we've got in here for now. Um,
So I think I can certainly I see one kind of asking about students taking advantage of the resources at Yale to achieve something. And they're asking more specifically, kind of beyond the classroom. And I think two examples of this, very easy ones off the top of my head. I think if you talk to some of our students, just this past year, I know we had a lot of students that we talked to them a lot about going in and talking to the career development office, go do the one-on-one sessions, go do those things, but also make sure that you're networking, make sure that you're connecting with people out there. And our CDO did a lot of discussing that with them and really helping them connect with the right people. And I think it really helped our students, not only because they a lot of them were able to find positions, but also they were able to, I think, gain a little bit more confidence, build that network a little bit, and also just, get themselves started, figure out what they needed even a little bit more so, I think, while they're here at Yale. What can they develop in those skills? I think as they're talking with some of these alumni and some of these other people that our CDO was able to connect them with, it's okay, what do I need to learn that maybe I'm not learning right now or that I don't know? And they could build those skills. One of the other big ones I would say is we do a lot, as I mentioned, for entrepreneurs. There's a lot of resources here at Yale. Not this past year, I believe it was 2 years ago. I know we had a couple students that actually started or co-found their own online, shopping company. And so I know that they used a lot of the resources. We've got the entrepreneurship suite downstairs at SOM. We've got a number of other entrepreneurship resources in the program of entrepreneurship. So those would be two kind of, very brief examples, but I think there are a lot of different things, and it really depends on what you're looking to do, what resources might be available to you. But there are certainly a lot for entrepreneurs. There's a lot when it comes to career development and figuring out what those skills and uh, things are that you need to be able to successfully navigate, the job application and job market.
Yeah, great. Thanks, Matt. I see a couple of students who are kind of currently enrolled in partner school programs asking some specific questions. So I'll try and address those here now as well. I see one student who's currently in the ASECMIM program, which is great. We did just sign a new partnership with ASEC, which we're super excited about. So the student is asking whether they should apply now. For the academic year starting in August 2027. So we would recommend applying in the year before when you're planning to come. So if you're planning to come in August 2027, I would recommend applying next year. This year we're enrolling for uh, students beginning in August 2026. So hopefully that makes sense. But yeah, we always advise students to apply in the year in which you are planning to enroll and to come. Also asking if the GMAT Focus edition is acceptable for our test score. What the answer is yes. We do take the GMAT Focus as well. There's also a student who's currently in the HKUST management program, which is great. So they're asking if we would need a recommendation letter from the program director there. Yes, and also from a former internship or professional work experience letter of recommendation. So yes, that is correct. And we would not require any additional letters from professors or from academic sources as well. There's another question here about somebody who's graduated from an MBA program. So actually, the GBS is probably not the right program for you. We have another program here at SOM, the Master of Advanced Management program, which is specifically designed for students who have completed their MBA already, and it's a 1 year additional program similar to the GBS in that it has a very flexible curriculum with lots of opportunity for you to select your own courses. But that would be the Master of Advanced Management or the MAM program for those of you who already have an MBA. The Master of Management Studies, the GBS program, is for students who have previously taken an MIM, a Master in Management Studies. So happy to share more information about the MAM program for MBA graduates as well. Another candidate is asking if they'd be eligible if they're a green card holder or a U.S. permanent resident. Absolutely. We welcome applicants who are American citizens, who are American green card holders, or international students. All of them, anyone is welcome here at Yale, and we would absolutely welcome your application.
So I'm seeing a question on beyond academic performance, what are the main criteria you value when selecting candidates? And obviously, I think academics is kind of a big one. We want to know that you're going to be able to handle the rigor of the program, and I think it's important to note that getting into Yale is the easy part. Graduating from Yale is the hard part. You still have to go to class, and our professors are world class. They're not going to go easy in the classroom. They really challenge our students, and I think that's what makes our students so great. But we're looking for that. I would say the biggest things are we're looking for someone, as Evelyn kind of mentioned, that really fits with our mission, that wants to make a difference, not just in business, but business and society. And I think someone that understands their purpose and opportunity at Yale. We get applications that are, the Yale network is great and Yale's a great school and all of those sorts of things. But we want to really know, what is Yale going to offer you that is different from your MIM school, that is different from other places? What specifically is it? So, we like to see, I know I love seeing when people are able to talk about the classes that they're interested in, clubs that they might be interested in. They can talk about those different things and really showcase that, one, they've done the research, but two, they have a plan for their time here at Yale. It is a 9-month program, so it goes by quickly. And we want to know that, you're going to make the most of it and you're going to come away from it hopefully transformed in a positive way. Is there anything you'd add to that, Evelyn?
No, I think that's great. Thank you. I think we also can mention that we take a really holistic approach in reading applications. And so, while academic performance, of course, is something that we are looking carefully at, we're also looking at leadership potential, career goals, mission connection, and yeah, just making sure that you are joining this community of purpose and going to be an actively involved community member here as well. So hopefully that helps. Um, Great. I see another student is asking about a program. They're involved in a MIM program that connects or that has kind of two different portions of that program. So one is at a university in Finland and another one is at LSE in the UK. And so asking which school should be the one to submit the letter of recommendation. I would say either would be fine. We're really, or both also if you if you want. But yeah, we're really just looking to make sure that, or to get an understanding of how you performed as a student, how involved you were in the community, that you were a good citizen of your school while you were there. Those are the kind of things that we're looking for in the recommendation letter from your school. So, whichever school you think would be able to kind of best share your experiences or that you would kind of like us to understand more from would be fine, but there's not really a right or wrong answer to that question. Um, Great. Let's see. Okay, so another student is asking about our mission connection, and that students tend to be passionate about both the social element, business and society, and kind of impacting business and society. And so student asking about students initiating social impact related projects. So there's definitely lots of opportunity to get involved with social impact here at Yale SOM. We have um, Social Impact Consulting Club. We have Net Impact, which is a club that hosts weekly meetings, really often looking at programs and organizations to get involved with right here in New Haven and make a direct impact on our community. There's lots of fundraising and kind of community opportunities that are happening here, mostly originated by our student body as well, particularly again in making an impact here in our community right here in New Haven. So I know student government will, for example, each year work with a local primary or elementary school in our community and host a volunteer day and kind of stuff bags for students who might not be able to bring together the resources that they may need to start their academic year or something like that. So there's lots of opportunities to get involved with our community as well as with the wider community in social impact. There's a couple of conferences each year that are focused on social impact as well and philanthropy as well. The philanthropy conference is actually one of our longest running conferences. So there's definitely lots of opportunities to get involved here with social impact.
Let's see, how many years of work experience post degree are considered ideal? So when it comes to applying for the program, there is a minimum of 12 weeks work experience. Typically, or I should say, the cutoff is 3 years of work experience post MIM that we're looking at. So I'm seeing this person may also be the one that was asking about the MBA MAM. There isn't a minimum or a maximum work experience on that side. But for this program, the minimum that you would need to have before entering our program is 12 weeks with a maximum of 3 years.
Our MAM students tend to have an average of 7 years work experience, but again, that's just an average. And we actually just recorded an MAM info session a few hours ago today. So pretty soon on our website, there will be the recording, but also feel free to email us and we'll be happy to share the recording for that info session specifically with you as well. Another student is asking if application from a previous year will be part of the consideration for this year's application. So the answer would be yes. If you have previously applied to the program and not gotten in, we would review your previous application as well and look to see what has changed since that application in your reapplication this year. So there's lots of ways to kind of show progress or growth. You might consider retaking a test score. You might share an optional essay to kind of explain what you've been doing in the last year and how your application has changed or how you have grown and developed. Your career goals might have changed. All of these things might be points of difference from your application previously to your application now. It is absolutely possible to get admitted to the program in a subsequent year, even if you've been denied in a previous year. So we welcome reapplicants. We, again, just would like to see what has changed in your application between then and now. If you've previously gotten into the program but you didn't come, either you declined or you deferred, then we would, of course, take that into consideration as well, and see kind of what you've been up to in the last year and what's changed in your application. So hopefully that helps there.
And I would mention with that, if you're thinking, if you are applying and whatnot, with this year, obviously, more than welcome to apply in round one. I know we're figuring out dates and whatnot for, or I believe we actually might have it up, the App Tips webinar. My recommendation, if you applied in a previous year, or even if you haven't, but I would recommend, working on that application. Now that it's open, work on the application or open it, start thinking about it, work on it, and then come to the App Tips webinar and really, sit and think, take in what you're hearing, ask questions if you have them, but have an honest look at your application and, check off, do you feel like you're meeting everything that we're talking about and everything we're recommending and all of those things? If you come away from that and you feel super confident with it, then your application may be ready to submit. If you're feeling like there's some areas to edit, you absolutely have time to edit those things and get everything ready before, I believe, even the round two deadline, maybe the round one deadline. Um, so my recommendation is always kind of start working on it, come to the App Tips webinar, and then work forward from there on, what the timing might be like to submit your best application.
Yeah, great advice, Matt. And maybe just to note as well, we are able to look at your previous application, so please don't just kind of copy and paste your essays from the last time as well, because that's not going to show us much growth and how you've changed in your application. So something to think about there. I don't, this candidate is also asking if they can also pull up their last year's, their previous application. I don't think you are able to access that. Hopefully, you might have saved your essays or have access to your previous resume. Those would be kind of the things that you could review and share how how you've grown and how you've updated your resume in the last year. Let's see. Another question here about career opportunities. This is really individual, I think, for candidates. Again, we have candidates who pursue kind of more traditional career paths, and then we have candidates who pursue something completely non-traditional as well through the GBS program. So we've had alumni kind of go into government sectors, nonprofit sectors. I think we've had somebody go into kind of becoming a director of an art museum, that type of thing. So there's really no limit on career opportunities provided to you. It's really just whatever your interest area is and the way that our career development office can kind of help you leverage that and help you leverage your networks as well, and connect you with resources across the world. So hopefully that helps. Somebody's asking about a wait list. If you're waitlisted in one round, can you apply to the next round? So the way that our wait list generally works is actually it's actually more kind of like a deferral to the next round. So if you get waitlisted in the first round, it probably just means we're actually holding a decision until the following round, until round two. So the answer to this question though is no, you would not submit an additional application. You would just kind of wait a little bit longer until we're able to further assess your application with a wider pool of applicants, and then you'll be issued a decision shortly within the next application round decision deadline. Hopefully that helps. All right, I think we've just about answered all of these questions. It looks like we have about 1 minute left, or we're right on time now, so we can wrap up here and reiterate our email address at the bottom of the screen here is gbs@yale.edu. Please feel free to email us at any time. We're always happy to connect with interested candidates and talk through any questions that you might have. So please never hesitate to reach out to us there. And then, of course, keep an eye out for our upcoming events as well. We have our Q&A session happening later this week. And then if I can put out a quick plug, I don't have a date to share with you yet, but we have a really exciting alumni panel webinar event that's going to be coming up soon, probably the end of October or early November, but we're still working on solidifying a date. So I don't have a date to share with you yet, but that's always a really great event for students to kind of hear directly from former GBS students and how the program really helped them and their experiences with the programs themselves. So I'll leave you with that, but thank you so much for joining our presentation today. It's been great to hear from you all and hopefully answer your questions. But again, if you have any remaining, please feel free to reach out to us at gbs@yale.edu. Thanks so much, everyone. Bye.